Owning a gym sounds like one of those businesses that practically prints money. People sign up, they pay every month, and the revenue just keeps coming in. The United States has more than 41,000 fitness facilities, serving over 64 million active gym members. From the outside, it looks like the perfect subscription business, but the reality is completely different. The average gym owner earns somewhere between $50,000 and $86,000 a year. Many make even less. The median CrossFit gym owner takes home roughly $4,000 a month. That's just $48,000 a year, often after investing more than $150,000 to open the business in the first place. The recurring revenue model that every entrepreneur dreams about has a problem nobody puts in the brochure. Gyms don't make most of their money from people working out. They make money from the gap between what people intend to do and what they actually do. It's one of the strangest business models you'll ever find. A gym actually becomes more profitable when many of its members stop showing up. That sounds cynical, but it's simply how the economics work. Think about two customers paying the exact same monthly membership. The first trains 4 times every week. They use the equipment, take hot showers, wear out the machines, increase electricity costs, occupy valuable space during peak hours. Every visit costs the gym money. The second customer also pays every month, but never comes back after joining. They generate the exact same revenue while costing almost nothing to serve. From an accounting perspective, they're the perfect customer. And there are far more of those customers than most people realize. Industry research suggests that around 67% of gym memberships are used infrequently or not at all. That statistic explains almost everything about how the industry really works. The business isn't built around attendance, it's built around subscriptions, and no company has mastered that formula better than Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness understood this better than almost anyone. Instead of building a gym for dedicated athletes, it built a business around casual members, people who wanted to get in shape but often never started. By the end of 2024, Planet Fitness had nearly 20 million members spread across roughly 2,700 locations. That works out to around 7,000 members for every gym. At first, that sounds impressive, until you look at the buildings themselves. Most Planet Fitness locations are only about 20,000 square feet. Depending on local regulations, many can safely hold just 200 to 300 people at once. If every member actually exercised for only 4 hours each week, many clubs would be operating beyond capacity almost every hour they were open. The business literally couldn't handle all of its own customers showing up. And that's exactly why the model works. Planet Fitness charges as little as $10 a month. At that price, many people simply don't bother canceling, even after they stop going. The company also makes canceling inconvenient. Many locations require members to visit in person or submit a written cancellation request. Membership payments are often linked directly to bank accounts instead of credit cards, making them even less likely to disappear by accident. None of these decisions are random. Together, they create an incredibly stable stream of recurring revenue. Planet Fitness generated more than $1 billion in revenue by making membership feel inexpensive enough to ignore. But things look very different if you're the person who actually owns and operates a gym. Whether members show up or not, the bills never stop. Rent alone often consumes between 15% and 25% of total revenue. Gym buildings require thousands of square feet, reinforced flooring, commercial air conditioning, locker rooms, and expensive plumbing. Then comes payroll. Staff salaries typically consume another 30% to 40% of revenue. Equipment creates another challenge. Commercial treadmills, strength machines, and free weights are expensive to purchase, expensive to maintain, and eventually need replacing every 5 to 7 years. Add insurance, cleaning, software, marketing, repairs, and general maintenance, and it becomes clear how quickly the money disappears. An established gym may keep only 10 to 15 cents of every dollar it earns. For new owners, it's often even less. Many spend their first year or even their first 2 years working full-time without taking home a meaningful income. And that's before the biggest problem begins: member churn.
For most gym owners, the biggest expense isn't equipment. It isn't rent. It isn't payroll. It's replacing the members who leave. The fitness industry has one of the highest churn rates of almost any subscription business. On average, only about 60% of members stay for a full year. That means roughly 4 out of every 4 customers cancel annually. Many don't even last 6 months. In fact, the first month often determines everything. Research consistently shows that people who visit less than once a week during their first 30 days are dramatically more likely to quit within 6 months. For a gym owner, that's a serious problem. Finding a new member isn't cheap. Acquiring a single customer can cost anywhere from $60 to $120 in advertising, promotions, and sales. Keeping an existing member engaged usually costs only a fraction of that. Yet many gyms spend far more time chasing new customers than retaining the ones they already have. Imagine a gym with 500 members. If 40% cancel every year, that's 200 people walking out the door. At an average membership price of $50 a month, that's around $120,000 in annual revenue disappearing. Replacing those members could require tens of thousands of dollars in additional marketing. And that's before every advertising campaign, free trial, or promotional offer. This creates a cycle that's incredibly difficult to escape. When membership numbers fall, revenue drops almost immediately, but the biggest expenses stay exactly the same. The lease doesn't get cheaper. Equipment payments don't disappear. Insurance premiums stay the same. Employees still need to be scheduled. Faced with shrinking revenue, many owners make the same decision. They lower prices. They remove joining fees. They advertise huge discounts. Or they offer the first month completely free. It usually brings in new members, but often they're the least committed customers. Many joined because of the discount, not because they plan to stay. A few months later, they cancel. Now the gym has even lower average revenue per member and an even higher churn rate. To compensate, it needs even more new members. It's a treadmill that's almost impossible to step off. The harder many gym owners run, the less progress they actually make. And history has shown that even the biggest names in the industry aren't immune to this problem. No story demonstrates this better than Gold's Gym. For decades, it was the most recognizable name in fitness. Founded in 1965 on Venice Beach, California, Gold's Gym became the birthplace of modern bodybuilding. It expanded into a global brand with hundreds of locations and millions of members. From the outside, it looked unstoppable. But behind the scenes, the business depended on one thing: membership payments arriving every month. By the late 2010s, Gold's Gym was carrying around $100 million in debt. As long as members kept paying, those payments covered the leases, the loans, and the operating costs. Then came 2020. Almost overnight, gyms across the country were forced to close. Members stopped coming. Billing was frozen in many locations. Revenue disappeared, but the expenses didn't. Rent still had to be paid. Equipment loans still had monthly payments. Insurance bills kept arriving. Employees still needed support. Within just a few months, one of the biggest names in the fitness industry was out of options. In May 2020, Gold's Gym filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Shortly afterwards, the company was sold to Germany's RSG Group for around $100 million, almost exactly the same amount of the debt that had pushed it into bankruptcy. A brand built over more than 50 years was sold for the price of its liabilities. Gold's Gym exposed a weakness that every gym owner quietly lives with. A membership business is incredibly powerful until members stop paying. Unlike a retailer, a gym can't sell inventory to raise cash. Unlike a manufacturer, it doesn't have products sitting in a warehouse waiting to be sold. Its product is access.
The moment people stop paying for that access, the revenue disappears, but the costs remain. That brings us to another reality that surprises almost everyone. Owning a gym doesn't automatically make you wealthy. In fact, many owners earn less than people working for them. Industry surveys show that the median CrossFit gym owner takes home around $4,000 a month. And these aren't passive business owners. They're usually the first person to unlock the doors before sunrise and the last person to leave at night. They coach classes, answer sales inquiries, handle billing problems, repair broken equipment, manage staff, clean the facility, run social media, meet prospective members, and somehow still find time to grow the business. When you divide that income by the 60-hour weeks many owners work, their effective hourly earnings can be surprisingly low. For many, the dream isn't financial freedom, it's simply building a business they're passionate about. So, if the traditional gym model is this difficult, what does success actually look like?
If owning a traditional gym is so difficult, why do some owners consistently earn six figures? The answer isn't building a bigger facility, it's building a different business. The most profitable gyms today are often the smallest. Boutique fitness studios, personal training facilities, and coaching-focused gyms have quietly rewritten the economics of the industry. Instead of charging $10 or $20 a month, they charge $150, $200, sometimes even $300 every month. At first, that sounds expensive, but they're not selling access to equipment, they're selling results. Members aren't paying for treadmills, they're paying for expert coaching, structured programs, accountability, and a community that keeps them coming back. That changes everything. Personal training and small group coaching carry some of the highest profit margins in the fitness industry. Members who work with a trainer stay significantly longer than those who exercise alone. People who regularly attend group classes are far less likely to cancel their memberships. Because once friendships form, leaving the gym no longer means giving up exercise, it means leaving a community. That's something price alone can't replace. The most successful gym owners understand this. They don't compete by being the cheapest. They compete by becoming the hardest place to leave. They also avoid relying on a single source of income. Memberships remain the foundation, but they add personal training, nutrition coaching, small group sessions, recovery services, and retail products. Each additional service increases the value of every customer without needing thousands of extra members. The numbers become surprisingly powerful. Industry consultants have found that many well-run coaching gyms can generate six-figure owner incomes with only around 150 committed members. Not thousands, just 150 people who consistently show up, pay premium prices, and stay for years instead of months. That's a completely different business from the traditional commercial gym. It isn't built on selling the lowest-priced membership. It's built on delivering enough value that members never want to cancel. And that's where the economics finally begin to shift in the owner's favor. So what does the future actually look like for someone who owns a gym? The best-case scenario is surprisingly realistic. A well-run coaching gym in the right market, around 150 to 200 loyal members, strong retention, multiple income streams, and systems that allow the business to operate without the owner being involved every hour of every day. A business like that can generate a comfortable six-figure income while continuing to grow through referrals rather than constant discounts. But that's not the experience most owners have. The more common reality is far less glamorous. The first year is often spent trying to break even. The second is spent learning which marketing strategies actually work. Many owners work 60-hour weeks while earning less than they did in a regular job. Every month becomes a race to replace the members who canceled the month before. And then there's the failure scenario. Not a dramatic bankruptcy, not headlines, just an owner who quietly keeps the business alive with personal savings, who delays replacing worn-out equipment, who cuts back on marketing because cash is tight, who hopes next month will finally be better. Until one day, the lease comes up for renewal and the numbers simply don't work anymore. That's how many gyms disappear. Not because people stopped caring about fitness, but because the economics stopped making sense. When you step back and look at the industry, something becomes obvious. This business was never really about treadmills or dumbbells or expensive machines. It's built on one of the most unpredictable forces in economics: human motivation. Every membership is a promise someone makes to their future self, a promise they'll wake up earlier, exercise more, eat better, stay consistent. The challenge is that motivation fades. Life gets busy, work takes over, families grow, habits change, and each canceled membership changes the economics of the business. The owners who succeed understand this better than anyone. They don't simply rent out equipment. They create accountability. They build relationships. They develop communities that people genuinely want to be part of. Because when members feel connected, they don't just stay longer, they achieve better results. And better results create better businesses. That's why the economics of owning a gym aren't really about fitness. They're about behavior. The gyms that thrive don't sell access to equipment. They sell accountability. They sell belonging. They sell measurable change. Everyone else is simply renting out floor space and hoping people keep showing up.